All right, Bears fans, the second video of the day here on Chicago Bears Now, which is why you should subscribe to the channel. And look how close we are to 49,000 subscribers. We are just 22 away. Appreciate everybody for watching our Michael Schofield news earlier today. Go check that out after this video if you haven't already. But most importantly, let's hit 49,000. Wanted to get there by Wednesday's practice. I think we can get there by tomorrow before Veterans Report. Hit that big red button because we got some Roquan Smith news to break down right now. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. I'm your host, Harrison Graham. We got to get into some news around Roquan Smith because a report has dropped that Roquan Smith will not participate at the start of training camp. Now, Ian Rappaport offers a little more context in his report that he will be present. He says that Roquan will not be participating in training camp when Veterans Report tomorrow because of his contract situation, entering a contract year. Smith has not yet received an offer that he would remotely consider, thus he'll wait. So, technically this is what we call a hold-in. He will be at Hallis Hall. He will not be practicing. We'll kind of talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. But I don't blame him for doing this. I'm not surprised by this. We hadn't heard a lot of Roquan contract buzz in weeks leading up to training camp, which was a bit of a surprise. And now he's saying, hey, I did minicamp, I did OTAs, but entering a contract year, I got to protect myself a bit. I am not going to participate at training camp until I get a new deal. So are you concerned? I want to know, are you concerned by Roquan skipping some practices here? Type Y for yes, type N for no. Usually you would think a new regime, new defense, you got to learn all this stuff. You'd be a little concerned, and I'm mildly concerned. But if anybody can skip training camp and be ready for week one, it is Roquan Smith. So I'll type my N for no, but this is something to monitor and some concern. Give me an answer, Y for yes or N for no. And the reason he's doing this is because he's entering that fifth year of his rookie contract, that fifth-year team option, which the Bears exercised a couple of years ago. And this is a player that has gotten better and better each and every year. This is a player that is worthy of a new contract, period. There are not more than 4 or 5 linebackers in the NFL that can do what he can as an off-ball player. He's that good. This is a player that is a cornerstone piece on a defense as long as he's healthy, and I think he's worthy of committing to for another 4 or 5 years. You look at the highest paid off-ball linebackers in the NFL, some have paid off, some haven't. Darius Leonard, Fred Warner, they're at the top of their game. Those contracts have paid off. C.J. Mosley with the Jets, he basically missed 2 years with injury. That one has not paid off. Zach Cunningham, who's bounced around a bit, he's been just okay. Deion Jones has had an injury. So it's been hit and miss when off-ball guys have been paid. But you look at that list and you're saying, okay, Darius Leonard, Fred Warner, that's kind of the category Roquan is in. Maybe those guys are a tick better. If I'm Roquan Smith, at minimum, I have to top C.J. Mosley at over $17 million. He should be at least the third highest paid linebacker, if not second or first, just because that's what happens when the market resets. Not always does the best player earn the highest money. You pay Roquan $20 million per year, and then someone tops it in a year. That's just kind of how that goes. But if I'm Roquan Smith and his reps, I'm not taking anything less than $18 million per year, and quite frankly, I'm probably pushing for 20 or more. So what do you think? I'll set the over-under at $18 million per year for Roquan Smith. Where do you fall in on this one? Type O for over $18 million is what he should get per year. Type U for under $18 million. Cast your votes in the comments. How much should Roquan Smith get, over or under $18 million? And Roquan has a lot of leverage. Usually when a new regime comes in, you got none, but look at this linebacker depth chart. I like Nick Morrow as a number 2 linebacker, but if Roquan holds out and Morrow's your top guy, that's not ideal. I mean, your linebacker unit looks pretty damn thin if Roquan Smith is not a part of it, and I'll take it a step further. This defense will tank without Roquan because Roquan does things in the secondary as well, dropping into coverage. He helps stop the run. He basically is running the defense on the field in a lot of ways. If he's not out there, you're in trouble. I mean, that's just a simple fact of the matter. This defense will tank. I think this can be a middle of the pack, maybe even a fringe top 12, top 15 defense if Roquan is out there and they're at full strength. If he's not, though, it's probably a bottom 10 defense. I mean, he's got that big of an impact, plays that big of a role in both the pass and run defense for Chicago. So hopefully you get him ready to rock and roll for week 1, even if he doesn't have a new contract. Another way to support Bears Now is by following us on Rumble. We're almost at 800 followers over there, so give us a follow. You can do that at rumble.com/BearsNow. Also, subscribe here on YouTube. We're at 48,978 subs. Like I said, just over 20 away from 49K. So help us out. Sub on YouTube, follow on Rumble. Those are 2 easy ways to do that. Now, I did want to revisit this. I kind of alluded to it earlier. Brad Biggs tweeted Rappaport's tweet and said this: perhaps this means a hold in for Roquan. That's what TJ Watt did in Pittsburgh last summer. He was present but didn't practice as he sought a new contract. And if that's the case, assuming he is going to show up but not practice, a lot of respect for Roquan. I think that's good self-awareness of, hey, like, I got to do what's best for me and financially, but I'm also going to be a good teammate. I'm going to be in the building. I'm a leader that players look forward to, and I don't want there to be bad blood with this new regime. Like, yeah, I'm not going to practice because I got to protect myself, but I'm going to be there. I'm going to be a resource, and hopefully we can get this resolved soon. I hope that's the case, that he's there and he's going to be present. Sounds like that will be the case. So a lot of respect toward Roquan on that one as negotiations continue. Now the question is, will Roquan get a new deal before week 1? Type S for he'll sign a new deal. Type W for he will not. I hope so. I will lean yes, but I think Ryan Poles is very calculated when he negotiates on new contracts, but I'm going to be optimistic here. I'm going to type S for he will sign a new deal. All right, another item I wanted to get to here on our second video of the day is, are the Bears, could they stay at Soldier Field? Well, the city of Chicago has prepared 3 new proposals for new stadium ideas for the Bears to stay at Soldier Field. So I'll walk through the proposals, show you guys a couple of photos, and we'll react here. Proposal number 1, fully enclose the stadium by rebuilding both end zones with columns that can support a dome structure. Okay. Number 2, rebuild both end zones with columns to make the stadium dome ready. And then number 3, modify Soldier Field to be a multi-purpose stadium better suited for soccer while improving its flexibility to accommodate major concerts and a range of events, which this idea is kind of a big draw to Arlington Heights because you can have all of these other events as well. I got to be honest, this feels like it's too little too late from the city of Chicago, the politicians involved. The Bears wanted the city a few years ago to step up with a proposal to expand to 85,000 seats. These proposals would get up to about 70, it sounds like, which is better than 61, but is it enough when the Bears have a property in Arlington Heights where they can build a state-of-the-art facility and have all of the revenue? That's another talking point as well. We'll get to that in a second. There were some photos of kind of projections of what the new stadium, or kind of the upgraded stadium, would look like. They look pretty sweet. This is an interior look of a proposal if Soldier Field were to add a dome. This is kind of a look from the outside. This next one here, this is a pretty sweet looking one. It's almost like a combo of US Bank Stadium and SoFi, and that's where all these new stadiums are going, these really modern looking ones that can hold tons of events. And then this is kind of a skyline photo here that was shown in the proposal. So, you know, it looks good, and, you know, you stay on the lakefront. I mean, there's a lot of benefits to staying in Chicago. The problem is the Bears right now are splitting revenue with the city for Soldier Field. The only way they consider staying, in my opinion, is if the city hands over 100% revenue. Like, hey, we want you guys to stay in Chicago. It's yours. Soldier Field is yours. The revenue goes directly to the McCaskies, because if the McCaskies build a new stadium in Arlington Heights, it's going to make a ton of money, and it's all theirs. So I certainly understand why that is appealing, amongst other reasons. You can have full control of what the new stadium looks like, capacity, etc., businesses surrounding the stadium. It's a pretty good opportunity for Chicago to move out there, which is why I still expect a move out to Arlington Heights. Sure, the downside, you know, the nostalgia of Soldier Field is gone. You're not in Chicago anymore. You know, the traveling up the highway there to get to Arlington Heights could be a pain in the ass. But on the flip side, folks in the suburbs who don't have to battle traffic to get into the city, you know, it benefits them. And there's certainly plenty of Bears fans out in the burbs as well. So, you know, you dissect it all, and obviously the Bears should listen to what the city has to say, but at the end of the day, there's just too many good reasons to go out to Arlington Heights, none more important than the financials. So we'll see how this continues to unfold. City trying to make a push to keep the Bears in Chicago, but I still think the heavy favorite is for them to move eventually to Arlington Heights. Now pick a location for the Bears. What would you prefer? And maybe kind of take the take the financial stuff out of it. It's not your money it's not going into your pockets. Like, which would you prefer? To stay at Soldier Field, type C, to stay in Chicago, or a move to Arlington Heights? Which would you prefer for you diehard, longtime Bears fans? C for Chicago or A for Arlington Heights? All right, busy show. Roquan, holdout watch, hold-in watch. We'll continue to monitor that. We're going to have a live show tomorrow. By the way, I don't want to promise, but I think we're going to carry the Bears press conferences tomorrow. Stay tuned for that. Still working that out. Got to finalize the timing of all that, but that could be in the works. Either way, we'll be live for our normal Tuesday show tomorrow, so subscribe, turn on notifications, and appreciate you guys for tuning in to our second video today.